It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Dog for what is going to be our extended play lounge episode number 29. We're getting older. The 29th edition. And this is going to be a fun one. Our first ever vinyl EPL. I'll tell you about it as we go here. So today we are featuring Fish Out of Water by Chris Squire. And, I put up 5 different albums against each other that I anticipated that many of us were fans of and possibly could be difficult to choose. Which one to listen to first. We included the debut album from Ambrosia. This one, Fresh Out of Water, In Search of the Lost Chord from the Moody Blues, Elias of Sunhillow by John Anderson, and The Underfall Yard by Big Big Train. These are all records that I have in my possession. You can see we've got Fish Out of Water there. I've got The Underfall Yard up here. Haven't even listened to it yet. And so I'm eager to get to these albums that have been gifted to us. And so I wanted to figure out which one to listen to first. And coming in with a late win, a come from behind victory, is Fish Out of Water. It won 31% to 29% over the Moody Blues. So I have a feeling we'll get to the Moody Blues soon. I have a feeling we'll get to all of these at some point, but we're doing Fish Out of Water first. And I've always been mesmerized a little bit by Chris since I first heard Yes with his bass playing, and so I'm eager to see what he comes up with for this album. So Fish Out of Water is Chris's debut solo album. It was released in 1975. And although the album was pretty well received, Chris didn't do another one of these solo albums until he did a Christmas album in 2007. So the name of the album, Fish, is Chris's nickname, and Out of Water refers to him sort of making music outside of Yes for the first time. The the album was recorded in 1975 after Yes had concluded their tour in support of Relayer, which had been released the previous year. This break, it's fascinating as I read into here. This I didn't really realize this. The break from Yes allowed time for Chris to do this album, but it also allowed John to do Elias of Sunhillow, and Steve Howe did Beginnings, Alan White did Ramshackled, and Patrick Moraz did The Story of I, all during this time. And I know some of them played on each other's albums, but it's pretty remarkable for a band that's like at the top of their game. They're like, all right, we're going to take a year off and everybody do your own thing. It's it's pretty adult for a rock band. It's really wonderful to allow time for each of the members of the band to kind of get their own sounds and ideas sort of worked out, and then the band comes back and they would be back with Going for the One with Rick Wakeman's return. And that wouldn't be until 1977 that was released. So on this particular album, we have Chris Squire on lead and backing vocals. He also plays the bass and the 12-string guitar. Bill Bruford, the former Yes drummer who had been playing with King Crimson during this time, I think, is on drums and percussion. Mel Collins is on saxophones. Jimmy Hastings is on the flute. Patrick Moraz from Yes is on the synths and organ, on specifically on the song Lucky Seven. And then Barry Rose is the organist on Hold Out Your Hand. And then Andrew Price Jackman plays some pianos. He did the orchestrations, and he is the conductor of the instrumentation, of the instruments, and of the musicians. So here's what I'm doing, y'all. I put on the Discord in Pics and Vids a little bit of my process this morning. I took this entire audio from the actual vinyl, from Fish Out of Water. We bought it for $5 at the Princeton Record Exchange. And so this is the first time that I'm doing a straight vinyl reaction. So we're going to listen to side 1 and side 2 in totality. And what I did was I imported it directly into the computer via Audacity, which is my sound editing software. And I cleaned up the beginnings and the ends, and some of the pops from the vinyl I was able to get rid of, but I left some of them in. I didn't overly edit it. Actually, I didn't do any processing to the file. This is an uncompressed wave file that comes directly from the turntable into the computer. And so now that I see that I've got the entire side and there's no skips, and I know that I'll be able to get through it without any mistakes or errors in handling the turntable, that's the way that I'm going to do it. So I'm listening via the computer, but the audio itself is directly from my album, which is currently right there. So it's a lot of fun to be able to do it this way, and I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to start with side 1, and the song that starts us out is called Hold Out Your Hand. I'm excited to do this, and so here, let's get going with side 1, y'all. Off we go with Chris Squire and Fish Out of Water and Hold Out Your Hand. Here we go. If you would have played this for me, I would have told you, oh, that's yes, right? Sounds completely like it. That's an A flat, but it doesn't sound like tonic. It sounds like 5. It's like an extended dominant is what it sounds like to me. There's the D flat. That's 1, I think. That's Ray. Sol. Low D flat. Just hold out your hand, y'all. The organ in this one was recorded at St. Paul's Cathedral in London, which is pretty cool to me. No, that's a historic church. And that's hanging out on 5. It's like something's coming, something's coming. We're prolonging the dominant more than anything. That's the one on D flat. All you've got to do is hold out your hand. That's all you got to do, y'all. He's talking. For the treasures of the universe are lying at your feet. He's talking about being open to new experiences, to new truths, to learning, to new wisdom, that sort of thing. So we have to be open to that. Organ's great. It's beautiful. It sounds like a real organ. I don't know how they record an organ like that in a big cathedral and get it to sound like it's part of the band. That's beyond me. They pulled it off. Bass is just a beast down there, isn't it? makes sense that he would leave room for melodic stuff from his bass. Some orchestrational stuff. It's too low to sing along. All the way up the scale. We are into the next song. That went directly into the next song. You by My Side. So here's the first difference in an EPL. We're on to the second song, and we haven't stopped. 4. Same key. It's great. Here I am dreaming, I stand by myself, look, and it's easy to see that I'm not the only one reaching for a new kind of wealth, reaching with nothing to hide, and you by my side. It's a classic love song. Beautiful. Beautiful love song, lyric and song. And D flat's my favorite key, one of my favorite keys, but for a major key, D flat is pretty special for me. It's a 1 chord over F. It's just walking up and down the scale. And there's the flute. I can't remember, what was his name? Scroll back up here. Jimmy Hastings. I think his brother is Pye Hastings, who was in the Canterbury scene. Here we are dreaming, we stand by ourselves. Look, and it's easy to see. That we're not the only ones reaching for a new kind of wealth. It's about how both people are actively dreaming of spending time with the other. They're both looking for this new kind of wealth, you know? And it's a wealth that can only be found within the safety and scope of the bond, of the relationship that they have. What a beautiful tune. If there is something I'm surprised about, it's how we've been relatively static in the same key for all of the first 2 songs. Love the little orchestra. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, y'all. Absolutely great. I think it's going to keep right on going. Couple of pops. So if I'm right, this will be Silently Falling. The third song. There's an oboe. And a clarinet. Wow. That's some sophisticated voicing. It's just great how clean it is. We're listening to uncompressed sounds. It's like a flute and an airplane for a bass, and they make it work. Now they're moving on. He's jumping a beat on me. Every couple measures. It just keeps it sort of asymmetrically turning. That's a G to an sounds like just subtonic to tonic in A minor. It's a pretty static harmony. Everything moves around so much. Even when they land on a chord, it's hard to tell exactly where they're going. I think in this particular song, he's talking about generational knowledge. That's my take on it. And how it gets silently passed down to emerging generations. That knowledge can put current events and current circumstances within a context and scope that doesn't overwhelm us, right? If we have the knowledge of history that's been handed down. If we can come to understand it and put it in context, there's a line in here, silently circling around, giving scope to our imagination. I love that line, and that's where I think he's going with all of that. It gives us context to imagine without fear and move forward. Trying to figure out where they ended up. I think they're in C. Is where they ended up, which would have been relative to that A that they were on before. Sounds like a yes on it. You know, in the instrumental sections, I miss Steve on guitar. That's how, if I really paid attention, I would kind of guess that it's not quite yes. And of course, John's voice is in here. Silently circling around. Giving scope to our imagination. It's a great line. Stills the sea, restores the crown. It stills the sea, restores the crown, breathing life to life that could not be. Hopefully. It's a song of hope. Of shared experience. I like it. A lot of stair stepping, a lot of scale-wise motion in this, and I think that is underlying the human condition a little bit. We're just keep walking. Keep doing it. You know, hold out your hand. Silently falling. Silently falling. Silently falling. Falling down. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I'm following the snare because it sounds like it's in 4 to me, but he keeps putting the snare on alternating beats. It's a subtle aesthetic, but it gives me that circling feeling, that silently falling feeling, kind of the gyroscope. Huh. Now it just sounds like latte do. Flat 6, flat 7, that's flat 6, flat 7, 1, but they not where they were. It sounds like E minor. So they kind of are in the same key. He was in C, and he's just taking that C, just going do, re, mi, and landing on E minor and keeping that as our arrival point. Silently falling down, down, down. It's a pretty extended coda. So we're getting pretty close to the end, I think. It's missing a guitar solo, don't you? That whole extended last little section could have had some, like a soaring guitar solo. But that's the end of side one. And what a side that was. 3 songs, all connected. So, we're going to flip it over, y'all. Side 2. And we get to Lucky 7. The title of this one comes from it being, I think, in 7/8. I read that, so I'll be ready for that. And this only has 2 songs. The second song is called Safe, and then in parentheses, Canon song. And this one, Safe, I actually have heard before. We listened to that in a council hangout months ago, so I don't really remember it all that much, but I have heard it, but not enough to really listen extremely critically at the time. So I'm thankful to be listening to side 2 with you now. So let's start with Lucky 7. Off we go. All right. Little electric piano. 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still think they're in E minor. There's the flat 6. Back to E. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Cool saxophone. Take a bite from the apple of life. Not as bad as it's right. And I think you could be lucky tonight. Take a bite of that apple, y'all. Remember that it's in 7, because if I just let loose a little bit and relax, the 7, the hitch beat, instead of it being 8, surprises me. It's happened a couple times. They're basically going though between 2 chords, E minor and C major. The more we try, the less we fail. This signifies as a little solo section. But Chris is being pretty tame on his bass there. And Bill's back there just being a rock. Nice and sturdy. I think that just want to listen to more of the solo. Such a great groove. From the trees by the silvery sands to the ice of the golden midnight lands. Runs a thread of the tears that are shed with laughter on the other hand. I think we could be lucky tonight. Keeping up with the plans and the schemes, chasing dreams, hard to tell what that means. I think that the message, beautiful, is similar to the first song, To Hold Out Your Hand. Karma, however you describe it, is going to be on your side if you simply keep the faith. Keep trying, keep striving, don't give up, that sort of message. The more we try, the less we fail. Boy, the whole thing's at 7. The syncopation in the electric piano, I think, combined with all of these interesting woodwinds and then just a steady beat in the back, it's a really groovy tune. And while he's not singing, let me praise a little bit of Chris's vocals. Because John kind of, at least in my mind, always comes to the forefront when John is singing with Yes. And Chris's backing vocals have always really well complemented John's color. And to hear him here by themselves, him singing by himself, you really get a sense of the buttery color of his voice. Nice and sublime. There's some pops. You notice the pops more when the music gets quieter, right? Because the loudness of the sound around it doesn't overshadow it. Kind of makes it feel more real, though. I don't mind it. Where are they going?
When your Savior lets you down, who will mind? When your lover turns around, who will find?
We're into canon song, to safe canon song. Beautiful. That's what it sounds like.
Beside you when you're walking down the street, you'll get tired.
So that sounds like the 5 still to me. I'm wrong. No. Is it an E or is it an A? It's hard to tell. Safe with me. Nothing can ground us, and you will be safe with me. Some of the orchestrations. So if I'm hearing that as lay, then we're in E. Huh. Now it says canon song. I haven't really noticed a canon yet. That might come. This is a long tune.
When you face the roads of doubt, have no fear. When the changes come about, I'll be here. I'll be waiting beside you to shelter your hearts.
I'll be waiting beside you to shelter your hearts like a ship in a harbor. Blown in by the storms that surround us, and you will be. Safe with me. You'll be safe with me. I'll be waiting beside you to shelter your hearts like a ship in a harbor blown in by the storms that surround us, and you will be safe with me. That ends the lyrics. Okay, that's the imitation, which he may be thinking is a canon. What an interesting color on the bass. I hear all of this. It's hard to think of it as an outro because we've got a lot of song left. But from what I've heard so far, especially with the lyrics being done, unless he repeats stuff, we're into a closing section. And it's different than the rest of the stuff. Still an E. Slow down a little bit. Some Beatles type sounds in that, with all of the overdubbing. I'm not saying much, I'm just mesmerized by the sounds. It's a pretty static harmony. They're just kind of... wonderful. Kudos, Andrew Price Jackman, for all these orchestrations. Potato. It's all those extra notes. Now he's just showing off. That's like sturdy. That's a sturdy ending. It's almost like the Great Gate of Kiev in pictures at an exhibition, right? How did he change keys? They were in E, but he's not anymore. Just sort of a... You don't get the sense it's sturdy, it's reliable, it's going to be with you, it's not going to leave you. It's a sanctuary for your mind. You're not going to be left behind, right? Even if there's a little bit of crazy shit, it's going to be there. Overtone? Is that a quote from Close to the Edge? Ray, hear that is Ray Overdose. That's fun. Fun. Chris. Great album. Wow. Great album. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I didn't talk a lot about this last song, Safe, Canon song. It seems to me, at least lyrically, it's a beautiful statement of dedication, the power of a healthy relationship, the very beginning of it. When your Savior lets you down, who will mind? When your lover turns around, you will find joy in the morning, love in the stars, peace and understanding, standing right beside you when you're walking down the street. Your Savior will let you down, but you'll always be safe with me. It's a heck of a song. It's a heck of a sentiment. You know, and in the sort of the pantheon of music, especially from this era, you know, I was born in 77, so I don't know what it was like in the zeitgeist of the 70s and where this album actually fit in. I read somewhere that it's underrated. I don't know if I agree with that, because everything that I saw when I read in about this album said glowing things about it. Almost everything that I've seen, it's and I think rightfully so. It's a glorious album. It's really, really wonderful. It's not quite as rock edged as some of what I hear from Yes, but man, it's Chris's humanity and musicality on display. Is it not? Instead of underrated, maybe it's more underrecognized. I don't hear it name checked quite often when people are talking about sort of the big prog albums of the classic, era, in the 70s. And I think that this one belongs in that discussion. I don't know if it's the best, but I think it belongs in the discussion. Just after hearing it for the first time, that's worthy music, y'all. It's really, really good. And I very much enjoyed all that. There's not really a concept in through there as much as it is about, let's see, side one, Hold Out Your Hand. We're talking about, being open to new truths and new ideas and to wisdom that's passed down. Then you get with You by My Side, this beautiful love song about how both people are buying in and looking for that connection. Then Silently Falling, about, at least in my mind, about the generational knowledge that gets passed down from generation to generation, and how that great lyric, it gives scope to our imagination, right? And then in Lucky Seven, I think it's similar, like I said, to Hold Out Your Hand, that, the more we try, the less we fail, I think was a line in that song. Just keep striving, keep trying, and stay hopeful. That sort of thing. And then by the end, you get a song called Safe. And then in parentheses, it says it's canon song. But I think Safe is the more profound title to it. Because if you adhere to and you follow kind of what he's calling us to be, I think you will be safe. When you face the doors of doubt, have no fear. When the changes come about, I'll be near. I'll be waiting beside you to shelter your hearts like a ship in the harbor, blown in by the storms that surround us, and you will be safe with me. He makes me believe it. He makes me believe it. And that's why I think it's quite an effective and beautiful and wonderful album. So I am blessed and really thankful to be able to listen to this one. I am blessed to have it with me as an actual LP. It's fun to have the vinyl here at the home office. And what a great first experience with the vinyl extended play lounge. This has been fun. Side one complete, and then side two. I don't know if we'll do that every time with these, but it was a fun thing to try, and I've really had a lot of fun doing it. This has been Extended Play Lounge, episode number 29, featuring Quiz. Say it right, Doug. Featuring Chris Squire and his album Fish out of water. Thanks to all of you for participating in our polls and helping select this one. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time on another edition of The Daily Dog.